Welcome back to another episode on When the Bell Tolls with Big Cuss. This is your host, Big Cuss, and today's episode will be covering some wild wrestling wedding moments. Some that happened a while ago, some that happened in the last year. But stay tuned and I hope you thoroughly enjoy. We're going to start today's episode on a little bit of a sombering note. One of the members of the family that helps record us, Yawn Man, lost his mother. And Brian, we just want you to know that we love you, brother, and we're here for you. And as we did with Matty Ice last year in the passing of his mother, we're going to toll the bell in honor of your mother. We love you, Yawn Man. Alright, let's get started on our wild wrestling wedding moments. Now, I don't have voice clips or anything for these, so I've added little promos or sound bites in between. But the one we're going to start off with is kind of one of them, to me, it sticks out the biggest in my lifetime with the wedding interruptions. This is on November 29th, 1999. So I was 9 years old, almost 9.5. I'll be 31 tomorrow. This is the wedding of Test and Stephanie McMahon. And 99 was a rough year for Stephanie. But, they're getting ready to say their vows, and out comes Triple H. He makes a little announcement, little spiel, and says, all right, let's roll the tape. And we get Triple H and Stephanie. Stephanie's knocked out. Takes her to a little wedding chapel. Obviously fakes her voice. And legally marries Stephanie McMahon. So on her wedding day to Test, she learns that she's actually married to Hunter Hearst Helmsley. The aftermath from this, it still goes today. I loved watching it, though, because in that moment, you're just like, oh, how dare he? But it was what the heel would do. It was great. He was able to manipulate and buy his way up the corporate ladder. But it worked in that time. It really did. And later on, you'll understand why I said 99 was a rough year for Stephanie and weddings. Woo! But Triple H interrupting Test and Stephanie's wedding to announce that he had legally married Stephanie instead of Test sent shockwaves through WWE that are still felt to this day.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
So, you know what? We'll lead right into why 99 was a rough year for Stephanie McMahon and weddings. So, in April 26th of 1999, so, 7 months after, or before, she legally married Triple H, Stephanie McMahon was kidnapped by the Ministry of Darkness, and they were going to have an unholy wedding, as Paul Bearer put it. Taker and the Ministry had taken Stephanie hostage and sent Vince the location and whatever the ransom was. And in return, they gave him a false address. Shock. Taker had strapped Stephanie to the, cross, effigy, whatever he has. The logo. And they were getting ready to perform the ceremony, and Paul Bearer looks at Taker and says, "You may now kiss your bride." And the glass shattered of Stone Cold. Stone Cold comes out and saves Stephanie from getting in a relationship with Taker, because Taker believed storyline-wise, if he married Stephanie, he would be in control of WWE, and then the Ministry would control it. Well, we learned later on the higher power of Taker was Vince. Yeah, that worked so well. But 99 was a very rough year for Stephanie in weddings. Poor girl should have just stayed away. But yes, one of the wildest moments was Stone Cold saving Stephanie from her unholy wedding.
I'm never gonna be done, lean on in. Now welcome to the queendom.
The queendom, where the kings bow down. They relinquish the crown. Y'all gon' hate me now. I just turn that around and make you love me, love me, love me.
Alright, next up we'll go with a little, throwback one. And I say throwback because I was one when this happened. The Undertaker and Jake the Snake Roberts attacking Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth after their wedding at SummerSlam 1991. Now they're back having their reception, and I want to say it was Macho. No, it was Elizabeth that opened the box. 50-50 shot there, y'all. And opens the lid of the box, and up pops a cobra. They scream, Taker attacks Macho. The rest is history. It was an interesting feud with Jake and Macho that did end up with, Macho being actually bit by the snake in the middle of the ring. But yes, one of the wildest moments, and I hope on your wedding day you don't open a cobra present.
Get ready! Woo! We on tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
All right, next up on our list, we'll just do both of these together since they involve the same person. We have 2018, Rusev crashes the Lana and Bobby Lashley wedding. Holy crap, was this terrible. This was an absolutely awful, awful angle that resulted in now 2 of the 3 of the people involved are out of the WWE. One of them is the world champion now, which is, Bobby Lashley. Worked well for Lashley in the long run. Rusev is now Miro in AEW when he'll come into play here in a minute again. Lana has just been released in the last month. But this was terrible. This was after Roman had already interrupted the ceremony or the celebration of Rusev and Lana. And then Lana leaves Rusev, wants a divorce, yada, yada, yada. She wants to marry Bobby Lashley. Rusev comes out and attacks both. Yeah, it was miserable. It was one of the dumbest things ever. So Rusev leaves WWE and goes and does the same exact shit in AEW. He becomes the best man of Kip Sabian for his wedding with Penelope Ford. Which, then all of a sudden he's giving his best man speech. Fucking ridiculous. And he starts looking at the packages because he's got one of the best friends, Chuck. He's got him as a servant. Calls him Charles. Has him clean up everything. Starts noticing presents. Kicks the presents over. While Orange Cassidy attacks during the wedding. How ridiculous. The same angle that he left WWE in. He then turned around. It was in the same wedding. He even talked about he'd been in weddings before that had mess ups. So I was just 2 different wedding angles, less than 2 years apart. Yeah, 2 different wedding angles, 2 different companies, both completely awful. Now, there were other weddings I could have mentioned that were not on this list. Like the one with Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee, where AJ Lee said yes, 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 but it was for Vince McMahon to become the new GM. I could have done the debut of 3 Minute Warning, where Eric Bischoff was revealed to be the pastor during the partnership ceremony between Billy and Chuck. Could have done that one. Could have done the wedding of Vicky and Edge, where it revealed that Alicia Fox and Edge had made out and Edge had cheated. Could have done Kane and Lita, where Lita came out in the black dress. So many wrestling weddings. So many. None of them ever work on camera. No wrestling wedding has gone off without a hitch. Just saying it there. But I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this episode because it was fun for me to watch all these wedding moments and everything. But I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much. But I wanted to do this podcast to say congratulations to Matty Ice on his recent wedding. And Matt, I wish you and Jenny nothing but the best for your future. I want to thank you for being a loyal supporter and contributor to this podcast. I hope you and Jenny have a wonderful, happy life together. I can see the love in both your all's eyes. So, brother, the rest of us in the family want to say congratulations on your wedding. And thank you for allowing Stephen and I to be in your wedding. So 3 of the 5 members of the family were in the wedding party, and we looked like the mafia. So, Matty Ice and Jenny, I hope you all have a wonderful life, and congratulations on your wedding. And remember, when the bell tolls, the match is over.